So I keep saying it's about, the elite, you know, the ones in charge. Um, it reflects me back to the book 1984. You have three superpowers. Um, but all three of the superpowers, if you ask me, from what I see, is they have all basically have misused the power and the authority for monetary gain and population control. Um, which is, like I say, crazy, but, um, you know, people basically, people generally, um, or should I say, people in power generally do whatever they feel necessary to stay in power, even if it's not necessary to do certain things to stay in power. You know, if you ask me my honest opinion, which is what's always been, the USA is the superpower. I feel, the USA needs to match the climate of the world. We should be on DEFCON 2 right now, or possibly DEFCON 1 just because of the nuclear threats of attacks. You know, um, I feel like our government, you know what I mean, um, should be taking action to resolve the problem with dominance and control, with no thoughts of any chance of a world of dystopia. You know, all presidents of the past have always set the climate of the world in times of war and conflict, and always resolved the conflict victoriously. Till now. Joe Biden, to your administration and you, for the second time. This is the second time now. I mean, I didn't forget about Afghanistan, you know. And then now you have Russia. And then now you have more propaganda, you know what I mean? In terms, um, you know, who knows when it will stop. I mean, I wish I could say, but it's just too much, you know what I mean? The time is now, you know what I mean? The time is now to put up or shut up, Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Talk is cheap. Put your money where your mouth is. Or shut your mouth and, you know what I'm saying? Show some action. Um, and some decisive order that you're a dominant player in the game. You know? I mean, restore the law and order throughout the country, the nations, and the world. I'm so sick and tired of all the games, you know. And now we're looking at it televised live, and we have two superpowers looking like, two poodles. Just more propaganda. You know what I mean? Um, and now I have to worry about more of the same, some type of blackmail or cyber attacks. I mean, it's all about the money, you know? What do you get with a cyber attack? You're going to cripple a financial system by taking away the monetary source, which is the money or the digital certificate. You know what I mean? I don't know how far down the rabbit hole goes, but it seems like it's never ending. Um, you know, they're talking about blackmail. Blackmail is the action that is treated as a criminal offense of demand. It's an action of demanding payment or another benefit from someone in return for not revealing compromising or damaging information about them, their past, their history, their misdeeds, basically. Um, you know, you're get out of jail card free, so to speak. Um, and I'm sure all three superpowers has plenty of dirt on each other. Um, you know, but why I feel like why should that affect the world? You know, um, I don't understand why the money power game has to spill over onto the soil with war. Even though I understand that war is the most profitable and beneficial thing for the elite, it's never good for the, the world in any way. Um, Death is not positive. I mean, there's no reason to even be at war right now. We need to be worried about all the issues abroad in the world. But like I said, we have to worry about, lies, money lies, power lies, more game, and now we have, like I said, some more propaganda blackmail, which is basically to me just another excuse for them to pass the buck. You know what I mean? To basically to say I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Or point the finger. You know, because if uh, you know they start with the blackmail, then that's going to go into the cyber attack routine where they're trying to cripple our economy through the power grid, um, which would be their last option, but that is an option for them. I believe that their real plan of attack, though, is to do a cyber attack so that they could try and, cripple the financial system. But in reality's terms, like I said before, who's cyber attack? Who's crippling who? Um, it just to me seems like a perfect bailout to save the economy and the world's markets of today. Um, you know, Funny, you know, um, they always talk about, being prepared. Well, it's already known that Russia and China both have backup, GPS satellite systems, and the U.S. of A. does not. So, they say they plan to use cyber attacks to extort the U.S. for what they want, and um, it's just more than a possibility. A Palo Alto-based company, Night Dragon, the owner says the recent hack that took down the largest pipeline in the U.S. was a wake-up call. He also said, "I would tell you that we're absolutely more prepared." David DeWalt said cyber attacks are escalating in part because the U.S. is so wired, and then he also went on to comment at the end of the segment that our greatest strength is our greatest weakness at times. That is technology. So my question is, which one is it? It's a double think. You how could you be um, absolutely more prepared if you're saying that our technology is our biggest weakness? Then you've got our overseas adversaries such as Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran increasingly probing the electrical grid using cyber tools, being that, 99% of our electricity used at domestic military bases comes from off-base sites. This leaves the military, homeland defense missions, and deployments at unacceptable risk because of the completely dependent um, means that, our system, our military, our world, you know, is dependent on the commercial power grids. So, thus being the case, this leaves us totally vulnerable. You know, that's why I question um, why the military measures have not been executed in, you know, with a plan of precision and, dominance and a show of force. Every single time we've had conflict, war, or anything go on, like I said, all of the different presidents throughout the years and throughout the terms have always showed a dominant stance in any situation of conflict. You know, now I'm just looking at two poodles as presidents, actually three really, but who's to say what? I just think that it's an embarrassment that all three superpowers are concentrating on destroying the world instead of saving humanity, making a better way of life on this planet while we still have a planet, you know. Because if they put all the energy and money and power into all of the things that really count instead of all of the nonsense, then everybody would flourish and prosper, and we would have no need for conflict. But that circles back around to the same concept of what I always talk about is greed of the elite. Or should I just say greed? Because you don't have to be an elite superpower to be greedy. You can be an average Joe Schmo and be greedy and think you're going to go all in and win and bet your life savings, and you could go broke tomorrow from a unrational or unlogical or poor decision. You got to think.